There's a big difference between waiting for clients to find you and learning how to spot real opportunities around you. That's where intentional prospecting begins, the kind that builds trust, momentum, and a steady flow of aligned leads over time. Welcome to the HAUS podcast, your go-to space where design, cognitive sciences, well-being, and business come together. I'm your host, Monica Costa, and today you're tuning into a design business capsule, an exploration into strategies and insights that support the business behind your design practice. This podcast is powered by Hausense, born from its mission to guide designers in creating spaces for well-being, grounded in cognitive sciences principles, and brought to you in collaboration with Jordi and Duhar, the strategic mind behind it. Let's dive in. You know what used to trip me up? The idea that clients would just come. Like if I worked hard enough, posted consistently, and kept improving my work, they would eventually find me and show up in my inbox. And yes, sometimes that does happen, but that's extremely rare. Because honestly, what I've noticed is that visibility without direction is just noise. And I know I'm not the only one who's felt this. We see this with our mentees at Hausense, designers and creatives who are incredibly skilled, who know exactly what kind of impact they want to make, and who still find themselves wondering, why am I not getting the right clients? They are showing up and they're putting the effort out, but there's a missing link, not knowing where to meet the people who actually need what they offer. Not knowing how to create opportunities that feel aligned and authentic to them and to their potential clients. And to tell you the truth, once they start approaching lead generation with intention, how we show them to do it, not just hoping to get seen, but actually moving forward and toward the right conversations, things like the clarity, the confidence, and the consistency start to shift for them. And this happens because when you don't know where those connections come from, it's easy to feel stuck. And everything after that, like making an offer or even designing, just doesn't have a context to happen in. So if you're nodding your head while you're listening, you're not short in value. You're short on visibility in the right places. Not every client is scrolling on Instagram waiting to find you. Some are in your inbox already. Others are one conversation away. But you need to know where to look and how to show up with clarity, allowing them to understand what is it that you do and connect in a way that they see the value that you would offer to their life. So in this capsule, we will unpack exactly that. Where our aligned leads and clients actually are, what touchpoints create connection, and how you can start building a presence in places that actually move your business forward, whether you're just starting or refining your client base. But before we jump into where to find those leads, there's something worth saying here. The clearer you are about who you're here to serve, the easier it gets to recognize where they are, what they care about, and how to connect with real intention. What I'm sharing next is just a quick overview, because if I went into all the details, this episode would be really long. My goal here is to keep it light and practical for you today. But if there's anything that you would love to go deeper into, just let me know in the comments, and I will be more than happy to dedicate a full episode to topics that you find the most helpful. And of course, these are topics that we do go very in detail inside the program. But for now, I have decided to share with you a checklist down here in the show notes that's ready for you to download and use as a guide to start finding leads with more clarity and direction. And that being said, now let's get practical. The first place we encourage our mentees to explore to find clients is their own circle. We tend to underestimate this one, but your friends, family, acquaintances, even old classmates might be needing a designer right now. And if not them directly, then probably they know someone who does. Let people know you're open for new projects. Say it with confidence, not apology. Ask for introduction. People love to help when they clearly understand what you do. And something that makes this even more empowering is that if your niche is within your own generation, you likely share similar life stages, interests, and priorities. That naturally gives you a deeper understanding on how to connect, what language resonates, and what matters most to them. Now, another great source are design fairs and industry events. They could be local or international. These are filled with people who already care about the built environment. Some are potential clients, others may be future collaborators or media contacts. You don't even have to be a speaker or an exhibitor. Just walking in, introducing yourself, asking smart questions, and exchanging cards can lead to really aligned relationships. And here's a little bonus: hear others. Listen to how they describe their projects. This will help you shape how you talk about yours. But if you don't have any fairs or industry events coming up soon, you can also tap into something more accessible, which are like pop-ups, expos, or local markets. Get in there, bring a few print samples, a QR code to your portfolio, and your best grounded energy. These face-to-face moments build real trust, especially with people who may not get your value until they meet you. And talking about face-to-face interactions, local networking meetups or real estate gatherings work marvels. I believe these have become an underrated lead generation source for designers. And why do I say this? Because real estate meetups have homeowners, developers, and agents who often need designers but don't know where to look for them. These events are usually casual and the energy is much more approachable. So you won't be pitching, you will be just connecting. And something like practicing your value proposition before you get there gives you a great edge. So you would be practicing something like, I specialize in helping people live or dwell in spaces that feel aligned with who they are. This goes a long way. People are interested in you being specific and organized with your thoughts when you talk to them and expose and tell them what it is that you do. Now, another great way to pull leads your way is a good lead magnet on your website. Even something as simple as 5 mistakes to avoid when redesigning your living room. This can create the first touch point. The key here is to make it useful, to make it, of course, beautifully branded and paired with a clear follow-up invitation. Like joining your email list, for example, which if you don't have any, I suggest you start one soon. Or maybe booking a discovery call with you. And speaking of it, the next one is a value-packed email newsletter. Because even if only 10 people read it at first, those 10 people are learning to trust your voice. So make sure you offer quick tips, inspirations, and reflections. Believe me, over time, it becomes a slow drip relationship that builds long-term loyalty. And you can also use those emails to gently guide your leads towards a next step that's incredibly effective for conversion, which are mini consultations or ask me anything sessions. These can be done in person, on Instagram or YouTube Live, or even through your newsletter. They give people a no-pressure, high-value glimpse of what it's like to work with you. Plus, you get a front row seat to the real questions your audience is asking, which helps you refine your message going forward. And then another very powerful lead generator is strategic or key collaborations. We talk about this a lot in the program. Here, you need to think beyond design. Who else is already serving your ideal client? We've talked about real estate agents, right? But what about wellness coaches or maybe fertility clinics or sustainability consultants? These professions are just a few of the many others that work with people who care deeply about their spaces. Reach out to them, explore cross referrals, co-create resources, co-host events or live sessions, or simply invite them to have a chat to build synergy. Now, if you're not there yet and you don't want to connect, you can also do this on your own, which is attend to their events so you can then connect with a more aligned audience because they have their clients going to their events and you can connect with them there. This approach builds trust faster because human connection always moves the needle more than anything else. And well, alongside those collaborations, professional platforms like LinkedIn can also work really well, whether as a next step or simply another way to connect. And I know that for some of you, this can be a little bit awkward, but it doesn't have to be. A simple, warm message that you can send someone via LinkedIn. Something like, hi, I came across your work and felt we are aligned. I specialize in designing spaces that prioritize well-being and would love to connect. Those can open unexpected doors for you. Just be intentional and human. And from there, of course, we have the go-to for most designers these days: social media. Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, you name it. But I would say just pick the one that you actually enjoy. Basically because here you will have to be posting consistently to see results. So you're not aiming for perfection here. This is just discipline. Share stories, behind the scenes, voice notes, and real results. And always make it easy for people to reach out to you with a clear call to action. Something as simple as, if you need a space that feels like you, let's talk. That can go a long way. And once you've built momentum on social media, the next obvious step here is using targeted ads with purpose. Focus on clear, action-driven campaigns that guide your ideal client to book a discovery call or download a lead magnet from you. Even a small budget like 20 euros or dollars can get us strong results when your message connects. And to wrap everything up, one final lead source you should never overlook are your past clients and leads. You can dive deeper into this in the last Business Capsule, episode 011, The Importance of Follow-ups. Because yes, you need to go back, check in, ask how those spaces are working. People who love being remembered, and often they're already dreaming about the next project. You just need to re-spark that conversation. All these that I've just given you are techniques to turn insecurities or hesitation into visibility, and turn that visibility into connection, and then into opportunities and potential clients. Now, I know that all of this sounds like a lot, but breathe. You don't need to do it all at once. Just pick 2 or 3 that genuinely fit your energy, your goals, and your audience. Start small, stay consistent, and most importantly, stay human. Because leads are not just numbers. They're people like you and I. And every time you show up with clarity and care, you're planting the seed for connection. And let me tell you, sometimes it grows into a client. Sometimes not. Maybe it's a collaborator. And sometimes it's just a simple, valuable lesson, but it always takes you forward. And while it's great to have all these options and tools to explore, I think it's also important to also say this. Not every touch point will feel natural at first. Some events will be a mismatch. Some conversations just won't land. And some leads won't turn into anything concrete. And that's okay. Because part of learning how to find clients isn't just about putting yourself out there. It's about paying attention to know how you feel in each setting, how people respond to you, and where the real energy exchange is happening. This looks different for everyone. Some of our mentees, for example, thrive in collaborative spaces, partnerships, workshops, co-creating things with others. Others feel stronger building visibility online and letting people come to them with curiosity. Some just prefer slower, more intimate conversations, while others light up in larger rooms. So don't measure your lead generation success by someone else's path. Your aligned clients will find you when you show up as you, consistently, clearly, and with presence. And here's what I've learned. Sometimes the lessons that we learn from the connections that didn't convert are just as valuable because they show you what's not a fit, what needs refinement, where you might shift direction. It is easy to overlook this part, especially when you're just focused on getting results. But if you pause instead of rushing into the next thing, into the next client that you're getting, you'll often catch something small that can quietly transform how you show up next time. I promise you that if you keep exploring, trying things, experimenting, but also observing and reflecting and asking, what drew them in? What made them hesitate? What part of my message felt clear for them, for me? Where was I uncomfortable in putting my message out there? What part didn't land? How could I have made this better? When you ask all that, every single interaction gives you data. And when you learn to pay attention to it, that's when your business starts to feel more grounded, more strategic, and more aligned with the people you actually want to serve. Now, here's the challenge of the week. Pick 2 new lead generation spaces that you have not explored yet. Maybe it's messaging someone on LinkedIn. Maybe it's reaching out to a potential collaborator. Maybe it's just posting an Instagram story offering mini consults or asking your network for referrals. Open those conversations with presence and genuine curiosity. And please leave the cringe for someone else. You're here to open doors, showing people how their spaces can elevate their well-being. The right ones will see it. The rest will keep on looking. And that's exactly how it should be. Because at the end of the day, this is lead visibility practice. Not to get a yes tomorrow, but to build confidence, rhythm, and clarity over time. The more you practice putting yourself out there, the clearer your voice becomes, and the right people will hear it. Now, if you'd like a little help staying focused, Make sure you grab the checklist linked in the show notes. Inside, what you will find is a simple breakdown of the lead generation sources we talked about today, plus a weekly tracker to help you stay consistent, intentional, and clear on where your next clients could come from. Keep experimenting, stay open, and trust that consistency beats confidence every single time. If this episode resonates with you, please share it with a fellow designer who's ready to start converting contacts into leads and leads into clients. And don't forget to like, share, and follow the House Up podcast to keep the conversation going every Tuesday. As always, stay well, stay curious, and keep designing your life with intention. See you next time.